Hey everyone, good to see you again. Welcome to Optimism Fractal. I got the pleasure to be here with Abraham and Jake and Will and Rosmari and Vlad and Jason. Hope that you're all doing very well. It's been nice catching up with you. Hope that everybody watching is having a great day and you'll enjoy the episode of Optimism Fractal. If anyone wants to share any thoughts real quick or do anything fun, then feel free. Otherwise, you're free to jump in, but I'll give a little presentation for Optimism Fractal and then we'll get into the respect game.
Roll that beautiful OP fractal footage.
Ah, there we go. I was waiting for that. Thank you, Will. All right, so welcome everyone to Optimism Fractal. You can check out optimismfractal.com to learn more about this community that's dedicated to fostering collaboration, awarding public goods creators, and optimizing governance on the super chain. There's a lot you can explore here, such as the weekly events where you can network with people here, and anybody else is welcome to join as well and collaborate with talented builders and earn respect too in the Respect Game, an amazing on-chain social game where everybody gets to share what they do to help optimism, collaborate to rank each other's contributions, and earn a mystical soulbound token called Respect, and also participate in the videos too. Get on air on the stage, share what you're doing, watch the videos, learn from other builders, and also build with respect and empower your community with the tools for the Respect Game. You can learn more about all of these, watch the videos on optimismfractal.com. It's a great place to, the events are a great place to develop your on-chain career and business. We have a Notion site where you can get more involved with the development, and there's also lots of funding opportunities in the Optimism Collective and the Super Chain as well. So you can feel free to learn more about these. Respect Game provides a great way to measure the impact of contributions to Superchain. We've been doing this for the past 38 weeks, and so all sorts of exciting things you can learn about and get involved here. And also governance too. We're trailblazing the future of governance with fractal democracy. You can learn more about our history and how you can participate in the Sages Council to take a leading role in the community and collective governance in general, and the Optimism Town Hall too, which after the Respect Game each week, we have a town hall where everybody can propose topics and vote on topics in an exciting Cagendas community agendas game too. So welcome to stick around there for more discussions about the superchain optimism, and you can explore more on the site about Eden Fractal, which is where Optimism Fractal kind of has its roots back in the day, and we still have ongoing events to refine the tools and processes at Optimism Fractal. And Optimistics, which has a great blog, the team that founded Optimistics originally, and the calendar where you can find all the events, as well as more communities building on the super chain like Base, WorldCoin, Sonium from Sony recently announced the launch, Sora, Mode, Redstone. Learn more about Optimism and Base and all these at the website. And we invite you to join our events on Thursday at 7 UTC. That's the best way to get involved with the community too, in addition to exploring the website. And feel free to invite your friends too. We have a very scalable model, and we love to meet friends and introduce people. So come join and invite friends and so forth, and like and retweet the post too. So Optimistics put out these nice messages. Rosemary makes some wonderful art and put out this message inviting everyone to join and play and have fun with optimistic collaborations with Superchain enthusiasts, and as well as watch the videos of past events too. So encourage you to like and retweet and share. You can see a great thread here with more details, also with the town hall that will be upcoming, and how you can learn more about the events in general, as well as on the Optimism Fractal Governance Forum too. So we post updates each week about what's going on, and so that's a great place to explore, and the Optimism Fractal Warpcast channel as well. So encourage you to watch the videos. There's timestamps and show notes. Everybody's seen all the cool things, or not everybody's seen. We want more people to see, but I think most people here are familiar with it. But we wrapped up our season 3 and we're in season 4 now, and all sorts of great stuff you can see by exploring the past videos from the 38 weeks preceding today's event. And you can find those on the Eden Creators YouTube channel as well, with much more shows. I mentioned we'll talk about the Superchain topics of the town hall. So that'll happen at the top of the hour for anybody who can stick around and would like to. So we're getting those topics later in more detail, but just as a quick preview, we play the Cagendas game where people can vote on topics each week. You can learn more about that and register for the event at lou.mosh/Optimism Town Hall. And I propose some topics about optimism collective governance, optimism collective identity, the Hats protocol Hatathon, the first one is going on, and a new kind of questions and answer games too. So if anybody wants to discuss any of those topics in particular, then you can feel free to vote on those topics on the Snapshot space. And you can vote on topics more or less depending on what you want to discuss the most, as well as propose your own topics too if there's something else you want to discuss. A little overview of each one of these two here. Quick community news too. I want to give a shout out to Vlad, who is working with a developer named Lennar on a Respect Game app. That's really exciting. He gave an overview of this at the Eden Fractal event yesterday. And you can see the video will be coming out yesterday where he goes through some of the features, but basically a really exciting respect game app that's in development, kind of early stages here, but you can see some of the ways it works and lots of interesting things. And stay tuned for the video coming from the Eden Fractal event where you can see more about this. Vlad's gonna be looking for feedback and people to try it out and stuff like that soon. So I wanted to give a quick shout out, as well as I spoke with Abraham messaged with Tadas today, or this week rather, and they're also building some really exciting tools and applications for Optimism Fractal and Respect Game and so forth too. They're coming soon, and so you can see a bit of an update about this. I haven't given the latest updates, but if you explore optimistic.io/tools and go to the Fractal app, then I have a little section about some of the apps that they're building that could be probably updated and so forth. But just want to give a shout out to Vlad, Abraham, Tadas, and all the great developers in the community too. Thanks to Jake too for helping to offer with help with the Hats protocol. But anyway, we're going to play the respect game now. So we're going to go into breakout rooms and everybody's going to share their contributions. The rules are at optimistics.io/respect game. Everybody knows here how to play it, I think. Welcome, Howard, by the way, first time joining. So look forward to hearing from you and hope you're doing well. We're going to go into breakout rooms of up to 6 people each, and then each person's going to get 4 minutes to share how they've been helping Optimism and just generally introduce yourself, and feel free to just have some fun conversations while also ranking each other's contributions after everybody goes, and then posting on the OP mainnet to earn respect. Feel free to ask any questions, Howard, to other people in your group. And yeah, everybody feel free to also record your breakout room, share your screen to give people a better feel for your work, sharing your links to your work. And we'll also try to wrap up the respect game by 10 minutes before the top of the hour, so we have a bit of time for open discussions. If you're not able to, that's okay. But that's it, basically. And hope everybody has a great time. So with that, I will put everybody into the breakout rooms and then hope everybody has a great time. If anybody has any quick comments, then feel free to share, but the breakout rooms will be starting now.
I was gonna say, Jason, you were sideways.
Yeah, this one does that.
Good to see you. Vertically oriented, Jason. Generally the right way to be oriented in the world.
Upright.
As long as we could stay upward, then we'll have a much better shot of doing well. It sounds good though. I'm just joking around. Welcome, Howard. If you'd like to introduce yourself or say hello, then feel free to. I don't know if you're very familiar with the respect game. You could feel free to ask any questions too. Appreciate you joining.
Yeah. Hey guys. My name's Howard. I've relatively recently started to try to get into coding, and I met Dan and Abe at Eth Denver this past March and February. So I've just been trying to, do a little bit more work and get more into coding. And now that my summer schedule is about to be over, I'm going to have some more free time. So I'm hoping to get a lot more coding done and possibly help out in the community.
Awesome. Sounds great. Thanks so much, Howard. It's great to see you. It was a huge pleasure meeting with you at Eth Denver and hanging out and getting sandwiches and seeing the Science Unbounded app, I believe it was that you're building. That was a fascinating app. So really appreciated the work you're doing there. And I'm really pleased that you're joining. It's great to see you. I've been meaning to follow up with you too. Sorry, I was meaning to follow up a while ago. But really appreciate you joining. Hope that the coding is going well. There's going well too. Hope that the Racket Club is doing well too. I see you that you got a Racket Club. But
yeah, I just got off court.
Okay, sounds good. Well, hopefully it was fun, and hopefully you'll be inspired. Now, did you have a chance to research, or did Abraham tell you about how the respect game works?
Yeah, I looked it up this morning. So it's from what I gathered, it's like people say what they've been doing, and then we kind of collaboratively organize how, like, who we think should be first, second, and third based off their contributions. Correct?
Yep, that's right. You got the
Awesome.
basics.
Nice.
Cool. Well, with that, if there's anything else you want to say, Howard, or any other questions or thoughts you want to share, then feel free to share them now or at any point. And if you want to kick it off and share what you've been doing, introduce yourself a bit more and share what you've been doing to help Optimism. If you've been up to helping Optimism, then you can feel free. Or if Jason or Jake want to go first, then we can kind of play it by ear.
Yeah, I have been on court most of the summer, so I'm excited to be able to start helping, hopefully in the coming weeks. So now that I won't be on court as much because the crazy summer schedule is ending. So.
Okay, cool. Well, sounds good. If you do want to share, usually we each take about 4 minutes, but since we only have 4 people in this group right now, we can go probably 5 minutes each. So if you did want to just speak more, you can either do it now or after somebody else goes and share more details to generally introduce. You already gave a great introduction, but if you wanted to give any further introduction or perhaps share previous things you've built, like the Science Unbound and stuff like that, then you're welcome to do that as well.
Yeah, so at the hackathon, I was helping build an app called Unbound Science, which is supposed to be a protocol to help underfunded areas of research get funding. Because a lot of these areas don't make as much money, or they're not as valuable to like the big corporations, so they don't get the same amount of love and funding. So but there are plenty of important issues that, so it's almost like a crowdfunding for research projects. And then this research goes into like an open database, and then the researchers can either give it all for free or find some sort of way to make money off it. At Eth Denver, I was responsible for all the smart contracts. So it started off as a simple DAO, and we're still trying to do some fundraising to possibly, build it out farther after, throughout the next few years. So.
All right. Well, sounds great. Yeah, I had the chance to look at it, and I see Jason, I think, likes it too. I had the chance. Feel free, of course, Jake and Jason, if you want to jump in with any thoughts or questions or comments like that too. But I had the chance to look at the app and ask questions about it. It seems like a really helpful purpose. Really, it can really help improve scientific research and collaboration towards those all the innovations that science can unlock too. So, and it seemed like it was quite well done too. It looked really nice, and so really cool. And I'm happy to see that you're still interested in. I'm happy to see that you're still interested in building it. I hope that it'll continue to get built out. I could see some collaborations with what we're doing with Respect Game 2, and there's been some exciting new tools. Also, what Jake has been building with Hats Particle 2 and Roles and Reputations, which maybe you can hear about in a little bit. So yeah, if there's anything, if you want to, I don't know if there's a live website at this point that if you want to share any like links that people can check it out, or if you want, you could share your screen, or I could share a screen. I think I had some links too if you want to give any more details about it, or you can save another time if you prefer.
No, not at the moment. We've like I said, Aaron's been currently fundraising. So we have we have like a general website that you can just unboundscience.com, and you can just go there and you'll see you can get all the general information. And, we're hoping that next year we can start to really get like the project off the ground. So.
Okay, cool. Well, sounds good. I look forward to it. I just pulled up the screen and maybe I'll share it in a little bit before my presentation, or I can pull it up whenever. And then, yeah, congratulations also. I believe that you won some of the hackathon prize for that too. So congrats on that.
Yeah, we got top 3. So that was cool.
Okay, well, very cool. Glad to hear. If there's anything else you want to share, Howard, then feel free. It's such a pleasure hearing from you, and I'm really excited to follow your progress and collaborate with you. So feel free, or else if you want to pick somebody else to go next, then you can do so whenever you're ready.
All right. Does anybody want to go next? All right, Jake, you can take it away.
Thank you, Howard. All right, I'll just share my screen. I should be pretty quick this week. Okay. Oh. Are you guys seeing the web browser, or are you seeing Telegram?
Seeing the web browser with Snapshot, and also on the bottom we can see your icons with Telegram and Discord and stuff.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. So this past week, I've worked with the Lex Clinic DAO Coalition people to set up a hat tree for the Hatathon, and just also, I guess, setting up the DAO Coalition as an organization on a hat tree. And it uses some pretty nifty features. So I just thought I'd share it for the week. So yeah, you got your traditional hats tree. You got your top hat, and then your autonomous agent used, and the autonomous agent is used to autonomously hand out hats when people have certain eligibilities for those hats. Normally, if you don't have the autonomous agent, you need an admin or a person to go in and hand out hats. So this autonomous agent is the middleman that kind of gets rid of the human in the equation. So what we've done is there's two ways to get membership with the DAO Coalition. One is through the Gitcoin Passport eligibility module. So you get, I think right now we have it as 1 point on the Gitcoin Passport. So basically, if you connect to Google, Discord, anything, you'll be able to get the hat. And then the other way utilizes the Hats Signer module, which just basically, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, just essentially a terms and conditions for claiming the hat. And you just sign it on chain and then you get the hat. So that's all pretty standard hat stuff. But the cool stuff we've been working on is we've connected it to the unlock protocol. And we have this checkout experience, right? To get one of these, let's see, do I remember how it works? I think, right, okay. So the goal is to get this voter hat, right? You can be a member, but that doesn't give you voting power on the snapshot. So to become a voter, you would need to go to this checkout experience. And whether you got the Gitcoin or the agreement, you can select. And I don't have this workflow process correct for this demo. But if I connected my wallet and I owned one of these two and I did that, it should be discounted to 0 ETH. And you'd be able to check out successfully. So after you check out, you'll receive the voter hat. And you'll be able to use that voter hat to join the DAO Coalition and make proposals. So that's the demo. I know it's kind of focused on one organization, but of course, all this technology is open source. You can go here to the Hats protocol, see exactly our setup. Maybe there's even a copy button somewhere. Same thing with the unlock protocol. These, smart contract on chain, public, and then of course, public on Snapshot. So feel free to use what you've seen today, join the DAO Coalition or implement your own stuff. And then the other thing is offered to help Dan create the hat tree for Optimism Fractal to participate in the Hatathon. So yeah, those are my hopefully contributions for the week to the Optimism ecosystem. And with that, I'll pass it to whoever's next.
Thank you very much, Jake. That's awesome. Love to see all the development that you're doing, cool things you're building with hats, and thanks so much also for offering to help with the Optimism Fractal hats tree as well. I am working on a response to you there, so I'll follow up there, and I'm looking forward to that. So you can pick somebody to go next if you want. If you want to pick Jason or me to go next.
I'll ask the same question for Howard. Who wants to go next? All right, Jason, go for it.
I want to volunteer to do that so that we can have more memorability for Dan, so that we can finish on a stronger note. He's like the anchor of the team. You've been doing this all the whole time. So my contribution is really modest. Directly to the super chain this week, practically nothing. I've been continuing the meetup that I host. I have an invitation to the public to have an exploratory education style. Right, this is the real thing that I teach, and that I think that the most useful education for a person has some practicality to it, but it also answers where their internal division is coming from, where the motivation is coming from. Like person goes through a learning curve for every practical challenge that they have, every goal that they have, and that so it doesn't really contribute to optimism super is what I'm saying, right? So it's in the industry, it's in the space, and that within that meetup style, I think that the unconference spirit is still strong. And you guys are all familiar with the idea of informalities and trying to intentionally bring a different style, a different approach to make an improvement. There's an expression that says, in order to be better or the best, you have to be different. And there are a lot of different, air quote, different attempts that happen, that we know that amongst that variety, that amongst that diversity, there will be things that have staying power, that establish like the utility, the public utility that they're really meant to, and that it happens and it's happening. It is, I think that a lot of inspiration is available in the space, and that most people understand to some extent how good and efficient like the collaborative approach to information and verification works, like a peer review process, like the value of simple witness, right? The value of simple I guess there are other words that mean the same thing approximately, but in peer review, right? The like, I think project that is similar is the process of peer review, and that everybody evaluates, everybody I don't know what communicates, and is coming to the same understanding on solid foundations of fact. It's the most valuable thing there is. The most valuable thing there. It's very valuable. So, I mean, because it's an abstract, because it's not a tangible thing, because the material world is based on information, right? One before the other almost. And information is about that, but I digress, right? I'm gonna run into a rant if I'm not careful. So I want to save the time for Dan, because you've been really making contributions available on my own time and on other people's. Like send a word. CryptOasis is live Thursday nights. It's on tonight. Comes up at I call it 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So I'm not sure what that translates to UTC. The domain that I use is cryptoasis.net, and I'll type it in the chat. I'll write it out so everyone can see it. Join us on Zoom. I'll update that.
Sounds great. Thank you very much, Jason. Great to it's great to hear from you as always. I appreciate and encourage people. I've mean to check out the CryptOasis too. So thanks for sharing that, cryptoasis.net, and look forward to joining you there. And appreciate you sharing the wisdom, as well as joining us and supporting us each week here, and helping us reach consensus. Also very helpful for the super chain too. So very much appreciate it. And I suppose if you have anything else you want to share real quick, then feel free in response. Yeah, I think you used
Well,
less than 5 minutes, so you can. But otherwise, I can go whenever you're ready.
to understand the name of the brand of CryptOasis, the word smash is actually two full words. First word is crypt, which is, like it means mystery, mysterious. It means concealed. And then the oasis concept is the concept of abundance and life and ecosystem dynamic. And that one of the endeavors is to show appreciation to all of the businesses and brands that use the concept of an oasis in their concept of abundance and their concept of life. For the variety of industries, there are so many brands that integrate the concept of the oasis to them. There is even a token, right? The Rose token built for Facebook almost as a metaverse for the oasis. And that I feel as though it's a really apt metaphor, and that the idea that we're providing here is about encryption, right? It's about the value of information that is verifiable, but also, permission setting. You can maintain some privacy, you maintain discretion, you can maintain data security in a good way. So I just wanted to explain that part of it, just so people know what it is and what to expect a little bit.
All right, excellent. I didn't know the backstory and the, I suppose, etymology of CryptOasis like that, so that's cool to hear.
Well, the backstory to it is that there have been a whole I'm gonna call it like wave after wave of meetups for the industry, for this industry of alternative currencies. And one of the ones in Calgary that I went to turned out to be very much just well, to address it fairly, I'd call it embezzlement or pump and dump type of like exit scam. Ultimately, people would gather and they would talk about alternative investments and alternative currencies, and in the end, the organizer turned out to be pretty much just an exit scam artist who ended up fleeing the country ultimately. So that's a whole story, and I'm willing to share every word of it. I mean, I started my meetup literally and physically across the street from that meetup, and it hosted on Thursday evenings at the same time, provided market competition for that guy against that. Because I recognized that that was a scam and that there's interest, the attention is there. There's a whole city that has curiosity about this. So if someone's going to gather because they're onto this topic, I'm going to provide something exemplary instead. And that was the origin story for CryptOasis. And I maintain Thursday nights for that reason, in memory of no more scams. Our main guest is actually a recovery effort for the hacks and scams in the place called the Quadriga Initiative. And it's a human effort to address what was that embezzlement with the biggest exchange in Canada at the time, Quadriga, CX. That's a whole story. So we talked about that on Thursday nights.
Okay.
And just trying to heal the space and make it useful, seriously. So.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that mindset and also the history behind it. So that's all really cool to hear, and I like the motivations too. I should probably go ahead and go so we can try to wrap up because I just got a message from Rosmari saying that they're already in the voting process. So we don't keep them up for too long, and we can try to wrap it up 10 minutes early. Maybe I'll go ahead and share what I've been up to. But thanks so much, Jason, for sharing all the great stories, and looking forward to hearing more more about the backstory and so forth at another time as well. Okay, and I'll go ahead and share my screen, I suppose. And I haven't been putting the timer up, but I'll just make a note of the time so I won't go over 5 minutes here. And I'll share a bit about what did I do this week to help optimism. I had to put this together pretty quickly, so it's maybe not organized super well, but I'll just try to explain it well in a coherent way. So one thing, I hosted the Eden Fractal event, where we have been pioneering these kinds of tools, and there I had a discussion with Vlad and Rosmari and somebody new named Temitope, but mostly with Vlad, and we talked about the software development, so helping promote Vlad's tools that he's building for the respect game. He's planning to deploy it on Base and Optimism, and that's coming out soon. And you can also go to edenfractal.com. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, Howard, but that's another event where we've been pioneering these processes for a while and so forth and playing the respect game. So hosted that event, and that was really cool. I also had a lot of discussions, in addition to talking with Vlad at the Eden Fractal event. Had a lot of discussions or just like messages with Abraham. I sent him some pretty detailed messages and had a call with him for about an hour and a half on a couple days ago. And we talked about his software development. He's building a front end app for the Respect game too. So there's a whole bunch here. I won't go into details here because there's private messages, but talking about opportunities for building the apps, open sourcing it, funding options, and then also letting him know about some people who are interested in his work and what Vlad's doing and stuff like that. Maybe fostering some collaboration there. And also Tadas has been building Fraps, which is also a like a software package in a way for building fractal apps. And so I went back and forth with Tadas for a while about asking updates about what he's doing, and then also checked out this new thing that I found recently called UMA. I mean, it's not that new, it's pretty big, but it's fairly similar to what Tadas is building, but it has some big differences. UMA.xyz, it's like an optimistic oracle. So I learned about that. There's some people who reached out to me who were working with that. So a lot of my week was just spent like responding to people who had reached out about optimism grants and stuff like that, because I made some mission requests and people have been reaching out asking questions. I also joined the Optimism Grants Council office hours on Monday too. And then I spoke and I asked some questions about how to request more funding and mission requests. And learning more about the details about how this works. And then afterwards, a couple of the grants counselors reached out to me and expressed interest in refining the process of Optimism mission requests too. And so I'm in collaboration with them to help out with this, as well as I made a mission request. I forgot to bring it up actually, but that was one of the big things. I kind of made most of it the past couple weeks, but I made a mission proposal for a mission proposal, right? That's what it is. It's right mission proposal for on-chain social games. So this is now on. I don't have the link right now for it, but I have a link for and I formally put the proposal up for an automated, decentralized, and compliant fund distribution system for the Respect game, Optimism Fractal, that other organizations can use as well. So this is like a long proposal, and I made a couple little updates before putting up there, but this has reasons about the success potential for this and the mission alignment. This kind of a first step to be able to distribute OP to Optimism Fractal participants and build like a great system for doing this in like a decentralized way. So did a lot of details there. I also responded to David, who's one of the co-founders of the Hats protocol as well, that Jake was mentioning. He mentioned the Hatathon. And so I shared some questions about it and thoughts about participating in it, and then followed up with a lot more details too. Jacob had shared some thoughts and offered to help. So working on responses there. And then I shared some pretty detailed ideas about how we could use gated chats or green modules or rewards tiers and gameplay things. There's actually the mission proposal here if you want to see the live one on Charmverse for the Optimism Fractal Respect game. It also has like a nice picture and stuff too. I responded to Nuno in the brainstorming chat about some ideas that he shared that were really interesting that you can see in the Optimism Fractal Discord. And I also responded to several people, like for example, Lucky One Animator. He reached out, and so I responded to him about potentially making cool animations at the Respect game and helping him out in different ways or collaborating in different ways. And then I made the topics for today's event. These two new ones were the Hats Protocol Hackathon and the questions and answers game, which is kind of an interesting thing. And then I also just promoted the events a little bit. Rosmari did most of it. I gave a little bit of feedback and put out a message. That's it mostly. Also, I have unboundedscience.com too, which Howard had shared here too. So I just pulled this up as well so people can see this link and learn more at Unbound Science on X, and they have a Telegram account too. So and this provides a lot more details. And once again, thanks to Howard for putting this up. But yeah, that's it. So that's my presentation. If anybody has any questions or comments for anybody at this point, then feel free, especially if it would be helpful for the ranking process. Jacob, I know that you looked into Fractogram. I don't know if you want to try running Fractogram or if it'd be easier if I just run it now. You're welcome to do it if you want, but no pressure as well. And I'm happy to do it if you don't want to right now.
You can go ahead and do it because it sounds like we're in a bit of a rush and I'll probably be stumbling my way through. So.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, happy to follow up and practice that at some point if you want, and appreciate you reading into that very much, and also the idea for the breaker hat role that can show who can do the breakout rooms. That we much appreciated. And I will start up the Fractogram app right now. The way it's going to work, Howard, is I'm going to share a link to the Telegram group. Do you have an Optimism account, Howard, or an EVM account? I assume that you do. And then a Telegram account as well, where you can join this Telegram group.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, sounds good. I will go ahead and create the group now. Okay, apologies for the delay. Fractogram, it's spinning for some reason, so it's not really loading for some reason. I might have to like reset it or something. But if anyone wants to share any thoughts while I'm getting this to work, then feel free. Also, Howard, I'm curious if you have any thoughts about the Respect game in general, your experience with it so far. Anything else on your mind? Would be happy to hear any feedback or anything else if you'd like to share.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little nervous when you mentioned breakout rooms. I'm like, but it was nice. Good to, get back out there. The summer has been hectic, so I haven't really been able to do too much in the crypto community. So it's nice to be back out.
Okay, cool. So you say you're going to have more time to build. Do you have anything that you're going to? I suppose one thing I could ask both you and Jake is with the apps that you build, besides Unbounded and those Hats protocol integrations you built, Jake, were those on Optimism on the superchain?
I believe so. Yes, those are on Optimism mainnet.
Yeah, I believe we deployed the Unbound Science smart contracts on Arbitrum for testnet.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing and appreciate your interest. Have you looked into Optimism much, Howard, outside of the Optimism Fractal event?
No, I have not. I've been looking at I was looking at a couple of other chains, and now I'm just trying to figure out where I want to start doing more work.
Okay, cool. Well, sounds good. I just shared the Telegram link, by the way. It took me a little while to refresh everything, but it's there now. So please, everyone, join there. And then once everybody joins, I'll put up an account prompt where you can put in your EVM account. So please have that ready. And then um, yeah, looking forward to seeing what you'll do, Howard. I hope that you will have enjoyed the Optimism Fractal event and be inspired to come back in the future. And I'm happy to answer questions. And lots of people here are very knowledgeable about optimism too. So we're happy to help guide you on your journey if you have any questions, are interested in generally building on EVM and building smart contracts, which I know you are. And then Optimism has a lot of really exciting things going on too. So I hope that you'll think of it and continue to think of us in the future too. Really appreciate you being here once again. I'm excited to
Yeah,
see what you build.
absolutely. Yeah, thanks. I'm excited to hopefully help build things or build stuff on my own. So it'll be fun.
Okay, cool. Sounds great. There's several, as I mentioned too, there's several developers who are building cool things with Respect game stuff and Fractal software, and we see a lot of growth potential with this kind of software too, as well as that Jake is building with Hats Protocol too. So if you're interested in building any of the stuff like collaborating with Abraham or any other stuff, happy to talk about it. And I think it will be like a really good thing to build. There's optimism, retro funding, and lots of opportunities in the ecosystem and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I'd absolutely love to help, and would try to help you guys out, try to build my skills and help out the community in the process. That'd be great.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. I'm looking forward to collaborating with you. And I just put out the poll too where it says please enter your Optimism account as a reply to this message, so you can see how Jacob did it. You right clicked on that or did a reply. And I'm going to create my account now.
Get my opt.
Okay.
Dan, Dan, aren't Optimism and Arbitrum kind of coming closer and closer together in terms of, I don't know, I guess partnerships? Like they're recognizing each other, and I don't know, it doesn't feel like they're competing as much as other blockchains seem to be. So just wondering if you had any inputs on that.
Yeah, thanks for asking. First, I see Howard unmuted though. Howard, is there anything you want
Yeah,
to ask? Or?
yeah, actually, so where actually I have not been on the Optimism site in a while. Where is the where would you like sign in and get that information?
What, the Optimism account you mean, or just in general learning about optimism?
The account.
The account would be if you have a MetaMask account, in a MetaMask wallet, or like a Coinbase wallet, or any other kind of wallet like that. You could also just make a new one as well, and there are some pretty quick ways to do that if you'd like.
Okay, so that's just your. Okay, so that's just your wallet. Gotcha.
Yep, just the public address. It'll start with 0x, and then it'll be a bunch of random letters and stuff. Okay, that looks good. The only issue though, with that is that it needs to be, for this app to work, it needs to be as a reply to the original message. So
you got it.
Okay, cool. And while you're doing that, Jake, thanks for asking. Maybe we'll just answer real quick first, and then we'll go into the consensus and maybe talk more about it afterwards. Generally, I mean, it's all open source EVM, and so in a way, like we're all building Ethereum together in the EVM ecosystem. Optimism and Arbitrum are like competitors to an extent, but there is like some collaboration where people are building OP stacks on Arbitrum as L3s and stuff like that too. And generally, when people are building open source software, it can be used on both. So it's kind of like competitive and cooperative at the same time, and lots more dynamics we can go into as well. Hopefully that's good for a short answer. Appreciate you asking, Jake, and happy to dive into details. Thanks for the applause. I think that's too much, but okay, thank you. And now I'll put up the level 6 poll. So we can now rank who you think help optimism the most. Level 6, Howard is just who helped optimism the most. So now you can vote whether Jason, Jacob, you, or me you think helped the most. And then once we reach consensus about that with 2/3 of us, then we can move on to level 5, which is who helped the second most.
You got it. Thanks for your help to walk me through it.
You're welcome. My pleasure. And it looks like I have 3 out of 4 consensus there. So thank you, everybody. Much appreciated. And we'll go on to level 5 now, which is now up. So who do you think did the second most this week of optimism? Also, everybody will receive respect if we can reach consensus, but just each level receives about 60% more respect. So if you get a higher level, you get more respect, but everybody gets respect if we can reach consensus, that is. So now you can vote Jacob, Jason, or Howard for level 5. And it looks like there's consensus for Jacob at level 5. So congrats and thank you, Jacob. There's 3 out of 4 consensus there. And now we'll go for level 4. Should it be Jason or Howard? And we have 3 out of 4 for Jason. So that's consensus. That was a pretty quick consensus. A lot of times we have like a split consensus and we have to go back and forth. Jason got 3 of the votes there. Howard got 1. So we can go and put out the consensus results poll here. And if everybody's good with that, then what you can do is hit submit results. There will be a section where you can hit results can be submitted here and click where it says here, and then that will guide you to the Optimism Fractal current web app where it will pre-fill the results. of each account there. And you can confirm it, the little hash if you want to, but it should be pretty good. And so you'll be able to see each person's account there. And then if you could hit submit with your wallet, Howard, and then everybody else too, and then we can submit consensus and then go back to the community room whenever anybody's ready, right? Whenever everybody's ready. That all makes sense, Howard? You're muted now, but I'm assuming you did. Feel free to let me know if it didn't, or if you want to mute.
No, yeah, that made sense.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Well, yeah, I'll submit mine now, and if everybody else can please do so within the next hour, then that would be much appreciated. Otherwise, we have to make a little proposal to the council, but that's not a big deal. If 3 or 4 of us can submit it now, then you don't need to, but we'll all get respect.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I gave you a wallet that I left at home. So next time I will remember to not do that.
Okay. Well, no problem. If you prefer us to send to change it to a different wallet and have the respect sent to a different address, then we can get in contact after the event today, and then I can make a proposal to change it to a different wallet. It can also go to that wallet, and we can make another proposal at another time in the future too. So, not a big deal. But that's an option. If you want us to send to a different wallet, then I can just make that proposal, and it's no problem.
No, yeah, that was my bad.
All good. And no problem if you're not able to submit now either. All good. Most important thing is just really appreciate you being here and sharing what you're doing and your interest in collaborating. So we can figure out all the technical details with the wallet and stuff later. And it's good enough for now. I think we're ready to go back to the breakout room too. Jason, Jake, Howard, anything else you want to share before we head back to the breakout room?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay, cool. I see Jake putting the thumbs up, and Jason has lost his vertical orientation. He's sideways again, and he seems to be lagging a little bit. Okay, now he's vertical, but still lagging. So I suppose we're good to go back. Thanks all for the great respect game. Much respect to you all. You know, all enjoyed it, and we'll head back to the community room. Have a little conversation with the other community room, see how they're doing there. Can talk there. Then we can also discuss the topics of the town hall too afterwards, after the top of the hour, if anybody wants to stick around then. Okay, I'll close the rooms and see you all back there. Thanks so much. And we have kind of a just opportunity for open discussion too here. So if anybody wanted to just ask some questions or share some thoughts, then feel free. The other group should be here within a minute.
Well, since we have a moment, I guess I can. I went outside. I brought my phone with me. I'm mobile for the most part. Step back inside to confirm online, right? Use the wallet, different device. That's what happens, right? I left the key at home. It happens.
Okay, well, no problem. That does happen. You took out the key for the key for the getting in your house, or the key for the Ethereum account, the Optimism account.
Ethereum account in this case.
Okay, well, good thing you're able to get in your home. I assume based on your background, you're able to get back inside. So that's the most important thing for now. And we can, and no problem about not having the Ethereum account. We can make a proposal. I'll take our proposal to make sure that that we can get our respect for this week and propose that to the council. So no worries there. Welcome back, Abraham and Rosmari and Vlad and Will. Hope that you all had a great time in your breakout rooms. If anyone wants to share a little bit about how your breakout room was or any thoughts, then feel free. We have a few minutes of just kind of space for open discussion here before Optimism Town Hall. If anybody does need to head out at the top of the hour or whenever, then feel free to slip out whenever. Or if you want to say goodbye or any last thoughts, then feel free as well. We have some exciting topics for the Optimism Town Hall, so I hope you'll stick around and curious to hear your thoughts about the topics and sometimes just open discussions and questions and stuff like that too. But yeah, of course, hope everybody had a great time in their reset game. And yeah, floor is open basically if anyone wants to share any thoughts. And we'll start the
I'm
town
probably
hall in
gonna
a few
have to
minutes.
bounce.
You're gonna bounce, Abraham? Okay.
Yeah, I gotta get I got some work stuff I've got to get done. But yeah, I was curious how Howard's experience went. This was his first time in here and hadn't seen him in a while.
It was good. I had a good time. I too also have to get out of here. I got to get back on court, so get back to work. But yeah, thank you so much for inviting me, guys. So I had a good time. Thanks.
Yeah, well, you're very welcome, Howard. Thanks so much for being here with us. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to collaborating with you. And thanks also, Abraham, for inviting Howard too. Yeah, so really appreciate that and hope that you guys both have a great day and get a lot of work done. Wishing you the best. If you want to share anything else before you go, then feel free. But yeah, thanks again, guys.
Thanks. I'll catch
See
you
ya.
guys later.
Have a good one.
Get you. Okay, I see Vlad said gonna go as well. Thank you. See ya. Thank you, Vlad. Thanks also for the great work with the app too. Really excited for it. And thanks to Abraham for the work in the app too, I should say. But yeah, thanks, Vlad. See ya. All right. And still got a couple minutes left. And I'll just kind of open time. And then we can
If I may share, I think that my mind is with other work as well. I think that there is this sort of like, I think that this time is very well spent. I think that this group is a priority when they're available. And so as much as there are other urgencies and other like things that I want to keep on time with, I'm gonna spend time here anyway. A little bit anyway.
Okay. Well, sounds good. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that a lot. I know you have a lot of great stuff going on, so that means a lot to me and us. Yeah, see Rosemary and Jake put up the hearts. So thanks for all the love and the support, everyone. Really appreciate it. And yeah, of course, if anybody has anything going on, then feel free to drop at any point. And we'll also try to be providing as much value as possible during the town hall. Keep it very timely and concise and information packed, and just give everybody a chance to speak and share their thoughts, as well as provide some good educational content and stuff that can hopefully help everybody a lot. So I'll try to do the best with the trust that and so forth that you put in the Optimism Fractal community and the Optimism Town Hall event.
I don't want to like I'm here to listen more as much as to speak, right? So from the updates from the group, I know you guys have like tasks to focus on and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I'm here to listen first.
Yeah, I proposed 4 topics. So sorry if I cut you off there. I don't know what else you said at the end. Feel free to jump in. But I was just saying that I proposed 4 topics, so I'm ready to jump into those whenever. Okay. Sounds good. So I'll give a real quick intro to Optimism Town Hall and topics on the agenda here. And I'll start now. All right, so welcome everybody to the Optimism Town Hall. We just had the 39th Optimism Fractal event, a great respect game, great discussions, and fostering collaborations all around. We have discussion scheduled for a half hour each Thursday after the Optimism Fractal events. You can check out the event calendar at loot.optimistics to register for both of these, and optimismfractal.com to learn more about the community and the respect game that's dedicated to fostering collaboration, awarding public goods creation, and optimizing governance in the super chain. everybody's welcome to join both these events and invite your friend, and lots more you can learn. You can also watch all the videos of past town halls at optimismfractal.com/videos in the last half hour of the episodes. So there's lots of stuff that you can see there. We've been doing all sorts of exciting collaborations on the super chain, talking about season 4 of Optimism Fractal and much more over the past seasons. I could also mention too, I forgot to share, but we had some really nice promotions that I didn't add to the screen sharing here, but yeah, basically we had some great optimistic collaborations, and then the Optimistics and Rosmari put together a nice promotion for the Optimism Town Hall, where each week we play a Cagendas game, a community agendas game where people can choose the agenda, propose their topics, vote on topics, and so forth with respect. And this week we decided to play an OP topics game as well. You can see a little illustration here of different topics that we can discuss. So yeah, basically I proposed 4 topics. So first I proposed the OP topics game, and just generally as a reminder, the way that it works is we have a game called Cagendas where whichever topic gets the most votes on the Optimism Town Hall Snapshot space at 17 UTC on Monday is the topic that will be discussed. And you could find out the Optimism Town Hall Snapshot space at snapshot.org/optimismtownhall.eth. And so there's a bunch of topics here, and I propose this OP topics game where anybody can propose topics and anybody can vote on topics, and also we can switch topics too. There's some kind of like fun game dynamics here where people can say or type next topic if you want to move on topic, and say if you want to stay in the same topic and stuff like that. We can kind of experiment with that, but also just have an open discussion. And yeah, in general, feel free to just share any thoughts. It's pretty open discussion, and the OP topics game is just kind of a fun experiment that we're doing. And I proposed 4 topics that we could discuss. So these topics are about Optimism Collective Governance, Optimism Collective Identity, the Hats Protocol Hatathon, and a questions and answers game. So I'll give a brief overview of each one of these now. You can go on the Optimism Town Hall snapshot here and see Optimism Collective Governance. I gave an overview about this last week, but we didn't get the chance to discuss it. Collective is a band of companies, communities, and citizens working together to reward public goods and build a sustainable future on Ethereum. So if we want, we can discuss the governance structures and Citizens House and Token House and opportunities for optimization with Optimism Fractal. I see this has 1 vote from Will for 353 OPF or Optimism Fractal Respect. So we can see which topic has the most votes. And if anybody hasn't voted yet but wants to vote, then feel free to do so. Also, Optimism Collective Identity. The foundation is working on some really interesting identity systems. I think Optimism Fractal can also help a lot here too. So we can discuss this. For each of these, I made some resources about these. I put together like a folder with a bunch of blog articles and slides and documentation and stuff like that, where in projects where we can learn more and explore. Also, I just shared that in the Discord too. So if you want to just dive into that later, then you can. You're welcome to. And then we could just have open discussions about these. And then 2 other topics I put up for the first time this week were Optimism Fractal and the Hats Protocol Hatathon. The Haberdasher Labs team, which started the Hats Protocol, is running a hatathon for the rewards ETH for creating trees with Hats Protocol, and suggests that Optimism Fractal could be a good fit for the competition. So I could provide a bit of overview about this competition as well as Hats Protocol and some plans I'm considering for participating in the hackathon. And we can just have an open discussion. Curious to hear any feedback about this, as well as the other topics. If you're not familiar, Hats Protocol is a powerful coordination protocol for decentralized collaboration. And there's lots of things we could do when pairing it with Respect from Optimism Fractal that can create a lot of benefits. You can learn more about Hats Protocol at XYZ. They have a nice website that explains it well. I've been working on a project to integrate Hats Protocol with Optimism Fractal for a while, and I've been in contact with the founders of the team. We have a Telegram chat with them that we've had, and we've been going back and forth, and they reached out saying that they thought Optimism Fractal could be a good fit for this hackathon that you can see here. They have some nice art too, like fractal art too, which is pretty cool. So we could talk about this. Jacob also expressed that he could help out with it in some way too. So we talk about this, and you can join the Telegram group too, where we have been having discussions and explore this project. You can find links in all of these to learn more about this. And then the last proposal I made was for a questions and answers game, which just feel free to just ask any questions or share any comments related to optimism, and then either me or other people in the community can just answer them. So feel free to write questions in the chat, raise your hand in Zoom, or post your question in the Town Hall Snapshot space. And then if we do have a lot, I don't think we'll have like a lot of questions, but if anyone wants to really prioritize a question, they can post it on the Snapshot space and then vote for it. And we'll just discuss things on the Snapshot space with the most votes first, and we can also move on to the next question stuff in a similar way. So those are some ideas. Also just an open discussion too about any of these things. I think each of these have the same amount of votes right now. I looked and they each have 353 votes from Will. One other note too is that each of these have a abstain function too. So if you wanted to say allocate some of your respect to it, but not all of your respect to it, to kind of allocate your preference, then you can put abstain to some extent. So you could say, oh, I want to talk about this topic and that topic and so forth. No need to do it, but there's an option that's there if you want. And yeah, I guess since if anyone wants to vote, then feel free. But if you want to also just say out loud what you want to talk about. But right now we're kind of at a standstill between the 4 different topics. So it's kind of an open floor, and let us know if you want to talk about any of these topics in particular, or anything else on your mind as well. That's the end of my presentation. Anybody have any thoughts or want to share questions or comments? Pick a topic.
I'm just logging in to allow the vote to pass, basically. I'm finding it.
Okay.
I think that, I don't know, I have other thoughts. My mind is a little bit divided on it. I think that, not on these topics, just on like what else to try to develop. Sorry, I did mention that like other work tasks are kind of calling me like that. Like there's a stressor like that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just a minute away from logging in. And here's the votes.
Okay, sounds good. Well, yeah, if you want,
Yep.
well, floors over. I suppose it might be best to give priority to these topics with the system. So, yeah, if you or anybody else wanted to pick any of these topics, then feel free. But also, if you have something else in your mind, then happy to hear that as well, Jason. And I'm sure we could probably fit it in. Like one topic that I put up that's very general is just like questions and answers game, which is just anything related to optimism. So if what you're thinking about is related to optimism, then happy to hear some thoughts about it. And if there's any questions I can help answer, then I'm happy to. And also, I appreciate you going to vote on the snapshot poll. I appreciate that Will is voting on the snapshot poll every week. But also, if you want, there's just the 5 of us here, so we're kind of pioneering these games, and I think these games will become like particularly useful. Say if we have like many people joining, and we want to really pick, the best topic and stuff like that, and having a system where we can vote in the scalable way really helps. And it also helps too if somebody just wants to just pick a topic in advance. But being that we're just on the call right now too, Jason, you can also just feel free to just share your vote out loud too if you'd like.
I need them back on screen again. I know that they're up, but I'm
Yep.
looking for them on the screen as well.
Okay, sounds good. Take your time. I have the 4 topics that I proposed right here on the screen.
Something that came.
I would vote in favor of all of them. Sorry, but I had lag and I didn't hear that. I think I interrupted.
No problem, Jason. I heard you're gonna vote for all of them, so you're welcome to, and thank you. And then Rosemary, what were you saying?
I was saying, because you asked if there's anything that came to our mind.
Mhm.
What came to my mind is maybe the cadence of the town halls. Is weekly needed or bi-weekly is an option? Kind of. I was just thinking about that too. But that's a separate thing.
Okay, sounds good. Well, that's a good question. And I remember we spoke about this at the end of season 3. We suggested maybe move into bi-weekly. And my thinking is, it's good to have them in the schedule so that we could discuss things that we want to, because a lot of times, like after the respect game, just people want to have a discussion about something. But we don't need to do it though. If nobody's inspired to talk right now, or everyone wants to just go back to their other tests and stuff like that, I don't want to keep anybody for sure. And we all have a lot of other things we can do too. So happy to wrap it up whenever. And generally, my thought, I'm open to moving biweekly, but I think that would be like a little bit confusing for people. Not that confusing, but it just like, okay, on the other week, it's like, okay, Optimism Fractal Respect game's over. Maybe people want to talk. We're just going to end it right now. Whereas if we have the town hall just scheduled there and it's like, okay, we have a space to use it if we want to, and if people don't want to talk, then we don't need to. So generally at this point, I think I'm in favor of a weekly town hall. Although I know you also do the promotions each week, which takes some time too. So I don't want to like, put too much on everybody's plate and stuff like that if it's not needed or helpful.
I was thinking more so like what kind of news are there to talk about every week in a way? There's not like there are probably some news, but I don't know. It's just if the need to, I don't know, have a, I guess, structured discussion every week is needed.
Well, yeah,
Well-
so
And
go ahead,
sometimes
Jason.
1 hour is just good, like a timing, instead of hour and a half.
True. I can respond to what I saw Jason was saying something too.
Sometimes meetings are less efficient if you know there's one coming up quickly, and they're more efficient if you know you have to wait longer for them. Go bi-weekly or to have fewer meetings tends to make meetings have, I guess, more density to them, and that can be a good thing. I think that there's the trade-off to that, right? Like how connected in between too. So
It could also be a different meeting on a different day. It's like another 30-minute meeting on a Tuesday or something specifically for it.
Yep, good points. Thank you both. So yeah, we thought about doing it on a different day. And I think generally I want it to become a different day event at some point in the future. But also take like kind of just, I think that would kind of take more time out of people's schedule in a way, because then it's like you have to block out 2 times in your week rather than one, and then we have to like promote it separately. And I think just generally like the size of, how much time we have and stuff like that, it kind of makes it easier to keep it right after the Optimism Fractal event right now, make it easy for people to join both at once. But in the future, would love to do like a different day. Also open to feedback here too. I'm just sharing my thoughts on it. And then I agree with what Jason said too. It makes it more special, makes it more efficient and so forth in some ways when it is less frequent, but there's also balance between if there's enough time for the community to talk and stuff like that, because sometimes people might want to talk, but they don't have an opportunity to, or maybe they'll forget about it if it happens, not very frequently or something like that. We decided to move Eden Fractal to bi-weekly, which I think was good. And we're also thinking about skipping the next Eden Fractal event as well, so we can focus more on Optimism Fractal event. So we'd have like, we're thinking about monthly for Eden Fractal or bi-weekly, kind of making up our mind in a way there. So I agree, like having it less frequent for Eden Fractal than weekly is for sure good. And maybe monthly sometime could be good too. For the town, and also one point to Rosmari's too. Yeah, I think there's a difference between having like a structured town hall versus just having like an open discussion, the opportunity for open discussion. So one of my ideas for this season was have less like structured topics. Like in last season, we did a lot of things where we just proposed one topic and then we promoted that topic and so forth. And we discussed like Unchained Summer or Optimism Season 6 and stuff like that. And they're like big structured conversations kind of last season. And then this season I've just done OP topics basically for the past 2 weeks. It kind of is kind of like meant to be like a more unstructured thing. But at the same time though, I just noticed, like Rosemary, you asked like how much news is there and how much is there to discuss. And in my opinion, there's a lot. Because one, there's just like an immense amount of stuff going on in the super chain and optimism that most people don't have the time to catch up on, but we have like our community. You, Rosmari, I know you're doing a lot of research into optimism. I am as well as many other people here, and have unique like perspectives as builders or work in different communities. So we can like kind of use our knowledge and stuff as a and use opportunity as a way to like build through some of that that the news and provide educational resources for people. Like last week, for example, Crypto Fede and Jacob both joined and they were curious about events and stuff like that. And had we just wrapped it up, then they wouldn't have had that information. But I remember Crypto Fede was like, wow, this has been super helpful. I've just been here for 45 minutes. I learned so much. And part of that was the town hall. So having the opportunity for just like questions and answers, even if it doesn't need to be like a big structured conversation. But the reason why I propose the OP topics is one, so that anybody can just propose topics with the structure if we want. And then two, some of these topics I brought up too, I thought that they were like, I think they are, in addition to all the news, there's also just like, there's a couple of purposes for the town hall. One is latest news about the super chain. One is like space for us to just talk like about the respect game, Optimism Fractal, or whatever anybody is up to in the community. And then three is also like kind of collaborate with Optimism Fractal and figure out the future of Optimism Fractal and how we can best collaborate. And so that's why I propose, for example, the topics about like optimism, collective identity, and governance. Because like I noticed that over the past few weeks, there were a few people who didn't really know how the optimism collective worked or the super chain worked and stuff like that. And so I figured like that was a good opportunity to share some helpful education that could kind of like get us more on the same page and help empower us all to help optimism all more. And then in turn, we can all do better, like potentially earn more from Retro PGF, build our businesses and stuff like that, or careers or whatever, as well as stuff like say the Hatathon or different questions and answers games and stuff like that can all be different ways to foster different collaborations that could be helpful for us or experiment new things. So those are kind of my thinking about why it's useful to have it, but it also doesn't need to be very structured. And my apologies if I make it too structured. Happy to just have an open conversation or wrap it up whenever. And I've been talking for a while too, so those are my thoughts on it. And curious, Rosmari, what do you think, or anybody else, or Jason, to us here unmuted.
Well, I've been log in here and about it, and so on it, like the trade-off side of that is that fewer formalized meetings tend to have more density. People focus for them, and have, I guess, all the more reason to prioritize it as something to not miss. I think that the people who are here every week tend to be here every week, and that would be like a signal I would look for. If they can't make it too often or something like that, then reduce and transform and change a little bit. I mean, with the meetup that I run on Thursday evenings, Thursday nights tonight, I try to spend a day for it, right? Because this is in between to other jobs. It's not a profession. It's like one day per week. This is what I do, almost like moonlighting, right? And that on the other side of that, having a classroom environment that is constant is what I've wanted, right? Because when we only meet once per week, even what we have time for in the meeting leaves a lot to be desired, I'm sure, right? Because we don't really have much more extra time other than the respect game, which has certain parameters to it. That's where I'm thinking there's the group size friction to like improve the fractal governance. The idea of it, as a core idea, is really good in terms of incentivizing people to recognize the same anything, whatever it is, the question, recognize the answer the same way as each other. I think that encouraging people to think a little bit differently about governance and things like that is what I'm staying in it for the most, right? It's where I started from in the ecosystem, so to speak, right? And that developing a classroom type environment is my goal. That's what I'll be doing. Slow going to get there, but it's in the cards. And so in between that, there's always other stuff to warm up with. There's always other stuff to keep up with. There's such a burgeoning sort of pace of change in the information landscape and the internet as a whole thing, right? What is Web3, and what are its apps and devices? To me, it's always the whole is more than the sum of its parts. For what I'm trying to find with the industry, and that on my radar, what's been ringing alarm bells in my mind partially is not related to optimism. It just isn't.
Okay, interesting. Well, thank you, Jason, for sharing your perspective. And yeah, I really appreciate you being inspired to join us here and learn more about optimism and help guide the community. There's also only 9 minutes left too for the scheduled time. So curious, I don't know, Rosmari, if you want to add any thoughts to that, or Jacob, you had some thoughts. We haven't heard from Will yet, so floor is basically open. I could respond and go back and forth with Jason for a while too, but also want to make sure that everybody has a chance to speak and share their thoughts. I'm curious if we want to talk more about the idea of perhaps different scheduling for Optimism Town Hall, or any other topics on mind. If not to, we could wrap it up at any time, or if
Well, I think since we have this established process, if we want to operate in a Web3 way, Rosmari, if you feel the cadence of this town hall should change, I would encourage you to put up a snapshot, and then we can we can go on the direction of those votes and those results.
Okay. Yeah,
that's
I might I might consider that.
okay, cool. Yeah, that's how we first established the Optimism Town Hall and Cagendas back with the proposal to the council. And we have the council process to determine that, and encourage everybody to, in general, make proposals to the council. Also, we're going to be putting up the registration of the council too, so if anyone wants to participate in that, then you're welcome to, and help make those kinds of decisions. Welcome any proposals. And also, I suppose one thing I could say too is Will invited me to the Let's Grow community for Let's Grow founders call. I suppose it was like the core team call, I should say, a few weeks ago, and I appreciate that very much. And one of the things that the main focus of the conversation there was Cagendas, and so Cagendas, the community agenda game that we're pioneering at the town hall. That's something that I think it has a lot of value in itself. Like, it's kind of just getting started. In some ways, we've been working on it for the past year and a half or so now, but it's still like kind of it's kind of a separate product or a separate game in addition to Respect Game. And so I also see the benefit in like testing it on a fairly frequent basis to just see how it's working. And there are several other people on the call who were quite interested in Cagendas too, so it could be interesting for that kind of like product development standpoint. And one other thing I would say too is that we do have it written on a lot of websites and stuff that it's weekly, so we could change that, but that would take a little bit of work to change that as well. So just one note.
Okay. That's not a problem to change something.
That's true. I had to update the Luma link for Optimism Fractal because Luma changed their policy, and that took a while. I kept finding, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. I still find it sometimes, but that's true. It's not that big of a deal. Well, Rosmari, do you have any other thoughts? I hope that you enjoyed the event. Also, too, if people don't want to, like, it's totally cool when Abraham and Vlad and Howard left too, so that's another option as well. Like, Rosmari, I appreciate so much, of course, that you do so much to help Optimism Fractal, and such a pleasure collaborating with you. But I know it's also late where you are right now too, so you don't have to feel obligated to join the town hall as well. I really appreciate you being here, of course, but that's another thing too, just in general, and that offers to everybody too. I hope I didn't make it seem like before when I said I appreciate everybody joining before. I didn't want to like put too much pressure on anybody, because it's totally just meant to be a place where people can talk if they want to, but no pressure if you want to leave any point, and that's open to anybody too. So that as one option as well. that's always open.
Honestly, I think that it's a pretty strong start, and that change is good. Change is really good. Like growth is change. It is, and trying different things is the way of life. You know, uh, exploratory education is like that. Whatever you're trying to do, think bigger, think smaller, think differently. Right? With fractally, with people who have this is supposed to be a respect game amongst trustless parties, right? Where my mind is at is bringing groups together that cannot be brought together otherwise, or alternatively, different stakeholders and the challenges within governance entirely. That's the whole thing. So this is like to the right of where my real work is. This whole industry, but I can see that public trust requires an information structure to it. The data points that we're looking at need to be the same data points. For example, just for one little example of it, right? And that Ethereum has a lot of promise for that, and alternatives do too. I love all the alternatives I'm exploring. So yeah, this is like this is change too. I think that what else to share? I don't know. I want to make a constant classroom presence personally for my own meetup. That's my challenge.
Yeah, what was that last word you said? You said what classroom setup? You said caustic?
Constant.
Oh, constant. Okay, so, sorry, I just misheard that. Okay, well, cool. Thank you. Yeah, CryptOasis.net. Jason's hosting on Thursday evenings, I think 7:30 or 8:30 in Mountain Time, and so encourage people to check out the events you host, and then also appreciate what you shared about governance as well, and how we're, you know, all the stuff you said there lines up with how I see it. How well, I appreciate your interest in how Ethereum can improve governance and how this fractal process can too. So appreciate that. And we only do have 2 minutes left too, so I suppose good. We have been going over time a little bit lately, so that's always an option if we want, but generally probably best to keep it to keep it punctual. So maybe if anyone wants to share any last thoughts before we wrap it up, then feel free to do so. I don't know, Jason, if you have anything else you want to share, or Rosmari, Will, or Jacob. It's been great from hearing from you all. So yeah, if anyone wants to share any last thoughts or share anything in your mind, then feel free. Otherwise, I can wrap it up whenever in the next minute or two if we're ready.
See you next week.
All right, I'll see you next week, Will. I'll give it a few seconds for anybody to jump in. If not, we'll maybe count down 3, 2, 1. What should we say? Go Optimism this week?
Okay.
It looked like Jason had an idea there
Sure.
that he's happy about. You say share?
Too many
Okay.
jokes. Too many jokes. We should cast a vote on what the chant is. Okay, of course. Let's do Go Optimism, but make it musical this time.
Oh, okay. Make a musical. I like that. Okay. Well, I don't know how I'll do that. And I like the idea of doing votes for that too eventually. But yeah, that might be a little bit difficult to get the snapshot all set up for that and stuff. Who's gonna do the A note? Okay. How should we make it musical? Maybe we should do like a chorus, like we're like go, 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 optimism, optimism. Is that what you mean? Or
Sing it something. Sing it how you want us
okay.
to say it.
You're breaking up, Jason. So how about I don't know. Maybe Rosemary, do you want to lead us with the musical
Oh, no.
optimism? Oh no, okay. Okay, well, it might be tough to coordinate the musical with only a minute left, so and don't want to keep everybody too long. So thanks everybody. We'll maybe try doing a go optimism or something. I don't know. Thanks.
Take a shot.
Will, do
That's
you have
the
an
best
idea,
way to
Will?
say it. Just say it how you want us to.
Okay. All right, let's wrap it up, and everybody can say how they want to do it, and then we can think about next week the best ways to sing it more musically. Thanks everybody so much for being here. See you next week at Optimism Fractal 17 UTC. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a great time. And I think we're ready. 3, 2, 1.
Mhm.
Go.
Optimism.
Optimism!
Yay.
That's it. Nice.
Have a great week, everyone.
Have a
All right,
great
thanks, all.
weekend.
Have a great week. See ya.